Futuristic, silver, with lights and even built-in computers. If you were a kid in the 80s, you'll definitely remember sneakers that looked like they came straight out of a sci-fi movie. Maybe their vision of the future was wrong, or maybe not. Let's find out which one you dreamed of having as a kid. Come with me. Released in 1984, the Adidas Micro Pacer looked more like something from a secret lab than a running shoe. With a tiny digital display on the left tongue, it tracked steps, distance, and calories. Technology that felt nearly unbelievable back then. All thanks to a microchip built right into the shoe's design, giving it a totally futuristic look for the 80s. Decades later, the Micro Pacer was reissued in several special editions, keeping its retro tech vibe alive and well. It's the kind of sneaker that makes you say, wait, this actually existed. Yep, and a lot of people dreamed of owning a pair. A true classic that looked like it stepped right out of Blade Runner. Imagine plugging your sneaker into a computer. In 1986, that's exactly what the Puma RS computer did. It featured a small computer module attached to the heel that tracked distance, time, and calories, compatible with systems like the Apple and Commodore 64. For 80s kids, this was pure science fiction. The look alone was ahead of its time. Bold, angular, and packed with color. Puma later relaunched it with USB ports and Bluetooth, staying true to the retro futuristic style that nostalgia lovers crave today. It was a smart sneaker long before smart sneakers were a thing. With its rugged build, sharp lines, and armor-like design, the Avia 880 hit the late 80s like a spaceship landing on a basketball court. Worn by athletes and playground warriors alike, its futuristic design made it unforgettable, part sports gear, part sci-fi prop. Years later, Avia re-released the model in a special edition, replicating the original details and colors. For nostalgic fans, just lacing up a pair was like stepping into a time machine. Back then, wearing these made you feel faster. And honestly, with that look, they could have belonged in Star Wars. Few sneakers from the 80s have a Hollywood origin story like the Reebok Alien Stomper. Created for the film Aliens, it was worn by Ripley in some of the most iconic scenes. With its high-top design, Velcro straps, and chunky build, it looked more like space gear than sportswear, and that only made it cooler. The hype was real, and fans wanted a pair of their own. Reebok later released anniversary editions that captured every detail of the original. For kids growing up in the 80s, this was the perfect blend of science fiction and street style. If there were an official uniform for alien hunting, these would be on your feet. In 1989, LA Gear dropped one of the flashiest sneakers of the decade, LA Gear Lights. Every step lit up the soul, turning sidewalks into your personal light show. It made kids feel like superheroes, or at least like arcade game characters. In school, one stomp and heads turned. The sneaker became a pop culture icon through the late 80s and early 90s, and it was later re-released with upgraded tech, but the same retro glow. Let's be honest, even now, light-up sneakers are still pretty awesome. It was pure futuristic fun, one step at a time. Made legendary by Back to the Future 2, the Nike Air Mag became the ultimate symbol of the shoe of the future. With its silver design, high-top build, glowing soles, and auto-lacing system, it looked more like a prop than a wearable sneaker. But for 80s kids, it was love at first sight. In 2011, Nike brought the dream to life with a limited edition run to support the Michael J. Fox Foundation. Then came the 2016 version, complete with real power laces, just like the movie, with only 89 pairs ever made. It's nostalgia, rarity, and sci-fi wrapped into one beautiful, glowing package. The Nike Air Pressure looked like it belonged on a space shuttle. Featuring a bold, bulky design and an external air pump system to tighten the collar, it was Nike's bold step into tech-heavy sneaker innovation. It even came in a silver suitcase that looked straight out of a lab. Though its tech was delicate and not super practical, it became a collector's gem and was later re-released with its original flair. This was a sneaker that didn't just turn heads. It made people ask, "What is that thing?" With its aggressive look, bright colors, and visible Dimacell cushioning pod, this sneaker from British Knights looked like it came from a futuristic urban battlefield. In the late 80s and early 90s, it became a hit among athletes and kids looking to stand out. The model had a major moment in 1992 when Derek Coleman wore it on the court with the New Jersey Nets. Years later, it was re-released, bringing back all that retro attitude. A sneaker that mixed bold design, tech flair, and nostalgia, and still feels ahead of its time. Minimalist, no laces, just two Velcro straps, and a silhouette that looked more like a sock than a shoe. The Nike Sock Racer was definitely ahead of its time. Launched in 1985 for runners, its futuristic design quickly became the main talking point. Years later, it was re-released and embraced as a symbol of retro-futurism. Back in the day, it looked more like a concept than a sneaker, and that's exactly why it still stands out. For collectors, it's not just a shoe, it's a piece of design history. With bold leather, contrasting panels, and wild color combos, the Converse ERX 260 hit courts and streets like a comic book come to life. Its armor-like look made it a favorite among basketball players and sneakerheads craving something bold. It returned in modern re-releases, including special collabs like Don C's version, keeping the nostalgic vibe alive. Back in the 80s, this shoe was loud. Today, it's a time capsule of attitude and retro design. Before changing his name to Hakeem, the Rockets' legendary center had his own sneaker, the Etonic Akeem the Dream. Released in 1985, the shoe had a bold, athletic design with bright colors and sharp details, matching the power of its namesake on the court. Decades later, the model was brought back with Hakeem Olajuwon's blessing, staying true to the original look. For retro sneaker lovers and basketball fans, it represents a golden era where sports, style, and futuristic flair came together in one unforgettable pair. If some of these sneakers looked like they came from space, others became famous because they came straight from the movies. Check out the video, 9 iconic 90s sneakers that became famous through Hollywood, and see which ones made it to the big screen.